In this video, we will show you step by step what to do to make pocket pizza at home with the help of an adult. 3 things we need to do before cooking. Wash hands long enough for about 20 seconds or sing happy birthday twice while washing your hands. Tie long hair back. If your hair is not tied back, it's more likely to fall into the food you're making and you may be more likely to touch your hair. Touching your hair, then touching the food you're cooking can spread bacteria to food. Long hair can also get caught in kitchen tools or burned. Clean the cooking surfaces. It's important to keep worktops and cutting boards and all other surfaces we use to cook clean because they touch the food you're going to eat, and if they are not properly cleaned, bacteria could spread to food and make you ill. Have your recipe on hand to follow step by step. A recipe is a set of instructions for preparing a particular dish and including a list of ingredients. Ingredients are the foods, herbs, or spices that we need to combine to make a dish. For the ingredients, we have the 10 empanada dough discs, the pizza sauce, 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese, 2.5 teaspoons of grated Parmesan cheese, 10 fresh basil leaves, and 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. Make sure we have the necessary cooking equipment. We have 2 small bowls, a box grater to grate the mozzarella, scissors to cut our basil leaves, parchment paper and baking sheets, and the measuring utensils. Here's 1/4 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, and 1/4 cup. If you don't have the measuring utensils, you can use regular spoon and a regular cup instead. Have an adult preheat the oven to 425 Fahrenheit. Now we will measure out 1/4 cup of pizza sauce using a 1 cup liquid measure. Pour the pizza sauce carefully into the cup without pouring outside. Maybe have an adult next to you if you need help with that. Then we can pour this pizza sauce in a bowl. Now we will use a plate, put on top of it the box grater, and grate our mozzarella cheese. These holes in the grater are very sharp and can cut your fingers. A box grater is used to make small pieces by rubbing the cheese on it. These holes are used to break food into small pieces called shreds. Make sure you keep your fingers tucked under so that you do not cut yourself, and ask for help when the piece of cheese gets very small. Again, once the entire block is shredded, you can transfer it to a small bowl to use later. While you're grating the cheese, make sure you go as slow as possible so that you do not hurt yourself. Now we will sanitize our scissors before we use it to cut our basil leaves. First, we rub the scissors with soap on the blades. Then, we will rinse it with hot water to make sure it's clean. Now rinse your scissors very well so you make sure there's no more leftovers from the soap so that the soap doesn't get to your food. Now spray the scissors with rubbing alcohol from both sides, and then we would use paper towel to dry our scissors. Now our scissors is fully sanitized. Now we will use our sanitized scissors to cut our basil leaves into halves. Scissors can also be used in the kitchen. Scissors are often safer for kids to use instead of a knife. Just be sure that it's clean. Also, watch out for your fingers while cutting the basil leaves because the scissors can hurt you. So make sure your finger is away from the scissors blades so you don't cut yourself with the scissors. After you cut all your basil leaves into halves, you can put the finished basil leaves in a small bowl or a cupcake liner. Now, we would take a cupcake liner and we would measure out 2.5 teaspoons of grated Parmesan cheese into the cupcake liner here. I have used a measuring spoon for the Parmesan cheese, but if you don't have measuring spoon, it's fine. Now, we would place our unfrozen dough on a parchment paper. Put 1 teaspoon of pizza sauce on the center of the dough and make sure that you leave 1/2 inch border to allow for the empanada to close. Then put 2 teaspoons of shredded mozzarella on top of your sauce. Again, you can use a regular spoon instead of a measuring spoon if you don't have a measuring spoon. Now we will use the 1/4 teaspoon to sprinkle some grated Parmesan on top of the mozzarella and the sauce. Here, sprinkle it all around and still 1/2 inch border around with no sauce or cheeses on it. Now we would place 2 to 3 basil strips on top of the Parmesan cheese, and then you sprinkle some dried oregano on top of your basil strips. Now get a bowl with some water as shown here, the bowl with the water. Dip your finger in the bowl and smooth it around the edges of the dough. Make sure you smooth it all around the dough. Then fold the dough over in half and use a fork to seal the edges of the empanada by pressing the fork around the edges. Make sure you seal it well so that it doesn't open when it's being cooked. Now we transfer the finished empanada on the baking sheet that's lined with parchment paper, and an adult can help you with that. Now cook in the oven for 12 to 17 minutes. Now we will get our 1/4 cup of pizza sauce. Put it in a small bowl. And then make sure that the bowl is a microwave safe bowl. And we can microwave it for 30 seconds to 1 minute. An adult should help you take the bowl out of the microwave after because it can melt. It's very important that you make sure you use a microwave safe bowl because it can burn. The bowl can melt. Now we will take out our dough out of the oven after it's golden brown and nice. Looks very delicious. Have the adult take the pocket pizza out of the oven. Place the sauce, and now you can eat your finished pocket pizza with the sauce. We have learned a lot about cooking today. We have learned how to follow a recipe, practice proper and safe techniques to grate cheese using a box grater. We have used clean scissors to cut instead of a knife. We have used many different types of measuring cups and spoons to measure ingredients. We have made pocket pizza recipe station, and it's easy to cook once you have all your ingredients ready. Now, it's your turn to be the chef. A chef is someone who cooks food, and kids like you can be chefs too. Now use your recipe at home to follow the steps in the demo to become a healthy helper to make your own pocket pizza at home with the help of an adult. Thank you for watching.